Hi, I'm Bibi Jamieson, a licensed therapist, relationship coach, and mother-daughter coach. So today I'd like to talk about how the mother-daughter bond shapes us. The mother-daughter bond is one of the most profound and emotionally complex relationships in our lives. It doesn't just shape how we relate to our mothers, it shapes how we see ourselves as women, how we relate to other women, and even the voices that we carry inside our heads. And when this bond is strong and secure, it can be a source of deep love, connection, and support. But when there are attachment disruptions, whether due to culture, patriarchy, or generational wounds, the relationship can feel heavy, painful, and confusing. As a mother-daughter therapist, I've had the privilege of being trained by Rutger Hasseltine, a pioneer in mother-daughter attachment theory. Unlike traditional attachment theorists, which place all the blame on mothers, her work recognizes that mothers do not parent in a vacuum. They mother within systems shaped by patriarchy, cultural expectations, and generational burdens. Three common themes come up in my work with mothers and daughters. The first one is maternal jealousy, and it feels like those two words shouldn't even be next to each other. Maternal jealousy is a difficult but deeply misunderstood experience. It doesn't always look like outright resentment or hostility. Sometimes it's much more subtle. One of the most common examples I see in my work is mothers or mothers-in-law becoming difficult, withdrawn, or even resentful during weddings, bridal showers, or other major life milestones like engagements, pregnancies, or first-time motherhood. Maybe she's upset about not being involved in certain decisions. Maybe she makes dismissive comments about the wedding or refuses to be enthusiastic about it. Maybe she suddenly becomes critical of her daughter or future daughter-in-law in ways that feel deeply personal. At first glance, this behavior seems unreasonable or even toxic. But when I dig deeper with my clients, a pattern emerges. Many of these mothers never got to experience these milestones in the way their daughters or daughters-in-law now do. Some were married off young and had no say in their own weddings. Some never had a bridal shower, a wedding dress, or a celebration centered around them, things that we take for granted. Some were taught that a woman's joy comes second to duty, to family and responsibility. So when these mothers watch their daughters receive something that they never had, which is choice, celebration, and attention, they are confronted with their own unfulfilled longings. Another common example of maternal jealousy happens when a mother had a difficult or non-existing relationship with her own father and struggles to watch her daughter become daddy's girl. For a mother who longed for fatherly love but never received it, whether due to abandonment, neglect, emotional distance, or a strained father-daughter bond, seeing her daughter experience that very love that she was denied can be incredibly triggering. However, this dynamic isn't always about mother's past. It can also stem from the present dynamics in her relationship with her partner. A woman who is in a marriage where she feels unseen or emotionally neglected may find it deeply painful to watch her husband adore their daughter, meet her every need, and treat her like a princess while disregarding his wife. And yet, who gets the blame? Mom does. She's seen as bitter, resentful, cold, or jealous of her own daughter, when in reality, the issue isn't about her child, it's about the emotional neglect that she has endured in her relationship. So shouldn't we also be looking at how some fathers contribute to this dynamic? As a therapist and a mother myself, I am deeply anti-mother blaming and mother shaming. The world and outdated attachment theories have placed far too much blame on mothers for not being perfect. It's important to remember that mothers do not mother in a vacuum. The second theme that comes up is the no needs voice. Many daughters grow up seeing their mothers as just that, a mother, not a woman, not an individual with her own dreams, just someone whose purpose is to serve everyone else. This is why when mothers finally begin prioritizing themselves later in life, their daughters often struggle to accept it. When mom stops being available to babysit at the drop of a hat, the daughter feels abandoned. When mom starts traveling, dating, or pursuing her own goals, the daughter resents her for no longer being available. When mom sets boundaries, the daughter sees this as a rejection. Here's the thing, your mother is not rejecting you, she's finally choosing herself. The third one is the silenced woman who teaches her daughters to shrink herself. In some families, women are not encouraged to have a voice. A mother who grew up in this environment may struggle to advocate for herself, and in turn, she may dismiss her daughter's emotions or encourage her to stay silent as well. Stop overreacting. It's not that serious. Just keep the peace. A daughter raised in this dynamic often second guesses herself in relationships, workplaces, and friendships. If she asks for more in her career, she feels like she's being difficult. If she expects emotional reciprocity in relationships, she's told she's ungrateful. If she dares to challenge authority, she's met with, just be grateful for what you have. This is why my work with mothers and daughters is feminist. We have to be allies as women. We have to be aware of environments and relationships that silence us. And we have to break cycles of self-sacrifice, guilt, and invisibility as women. When mothers and daughters stop seeing each other as adversaries and start recognizing the shared struggles imposed on them by patriarchy, culture, and outdated ideals of motherhood and attachment, they begin to heal. A liberated mother raises a liberated daughter, and together they can redefine what it means to be a woman who honors her voice, her needs, and her worth. So how do we break the cycle? How do we heal and move forward? One of the most powerful ways to begin healing the mother-daughter bond is by attending therapy together. Mother-daughter therapy can create a space where both of you can be heard, understood, and validated. It's about creating generational change. Healing doesn't just impact you, but it impacts the daughters, the nieces, the granddaughters who will come after you. Healing is not a straight line. Some days you will feel like you've had a breakthrough, and others you'll feel like you have setbacks. So give yourself grace. And finally, it's important to remember that you do not have to carry the burdens of the women that came before you. You get to decide what being a woman means for you. And in doing so, you can change the story for every woman who comes after you. Because at the end of the day, healing isn't about changing our mothers. It's about changing the way their legacy lives within us and flows into the next generation. Hi, I'm Bibi Jamieson, a licensed therapist, relationship coach, and founder of Restore to Love. You can find me on Instagram at Restore to Love or my website restoretolove.co.uk. I've just spent the day filming with Mindfriend, who are absolutely lovely. They're a digital platform that provide reliable and accredited mental health content. Stay tuned for all our upcoming videos.